strategy used with distributors. Some of the smaller companies, we go through only distributors and channels, no sales force yet. So is it the same as working with sales forces, or do you have some other ideas?
Basically, we're working, most of our sales is done directly to the mobile operators, but we are working through partnerships with the channels and distributors. Very large ones. We're not utilizing usually local distributors, but international channels in our area. Even Sonia, something like Nokia Siemens level, Ericsson, but some other suppliers in our field. We're basically, I must admit, it's not as active as we do, because still the majority of our revenues is coming from direct sales. But we're investing lots of activities in, first of all, inviting our partners to any activities that we're doing with our customers, so they're exposed from a marketing perspective. We're spending lots of efforts on doing training to them, to get to know the products, to socialize with them, lots of interactions with the salespeople directly. They're working with us. In most of the cases, we don't like the brands that they're using, so we need to use our own material and make sure that whatever sales toolkit they're producing will be according to our brand book and kind of activities, unless of course it's OEM, but in reseller mode. And we work tightly. It's not as active as in direct sales because of the business relationship or targets perspective, but it is something that I guess will be evolving.
We work with OEM partners. We have about 150 OEM partners around the world. It's not exactly the same as distributors, but a similar concept. It's an indirect sales model. And we're constantly creating content for them. We do a monthly trend report that Avi Toriel from my team puts together on a quarterly basis. Did I say monthly? A quarterly trend report that they can take pieces of and use in their own marketing campaigns. And we actually go to the point of offering to co-brand it for them. And we send out an email to their marketing representatives a few days before it goes out to the public, a few days before the actual official press release goes out, so they get the feeling of, wow, I'm getting some inside information. We ask them to keep it confidential until the press release comes out. And we let them know that if they want us to provide them with a co-branded copy, just make sure that we have their updated logo, their updated boilerplate, and we will provide that for them. So that's just one example. We also encourage them to use the material on our blog as long as they cite us as the source. It helps give us a platform for our brand to be promoted besides all the promotion that we do ourselves. And the blog is something that's being updated at least weekly. So definitely, I think creation of content that can be reused in multiple and repurposed in multiple ways. Some of our partners have taken material that we've created for our blog, whether if it's, say, a research about if spam curiously went down in the pre-Christmas season and then jumped back up in January, and we provided graphs and explanations. Or there was a virus that came out a few days ago called the Kama Sutra virus. So we put a little blog post about the Kama Sutra virus, very exciting, very sexy. It gives them an opportunity to use that in their own marketing, and many of them do. They put together email campaigns about it, or they put it on their own blog, and then they tweet about it, and they thank Comtouch and so forth.
Basically helping them.
Right, they see us as almost like marketing consultants. A lot of times they come to us and they say, tell us what are the marketing programs that are working the best for your partners. And many of them actually compete with each other, so it's a little bit sensitive. We need to be cautious about what we share, but we can certainly share information, and we make sure to, for example, we have all of our social networking, we try to really promote them. So if one of our partners tweets something interesting that we think will interest other potential OEM partners, we'll retweet it. We make sure to put their links on our Facebook page and so forth. We try to present to them Comtech is, first of all, knowledgeable from the standpoint of marketing. If they've got questions, we're there to answer. We can help them with their marketing. We can help them by doing joint press releases, joint case studies, and let them leverage our brand and help to promote our brand out there as well.
Very well. And the marketing is kind of a sideshow. So we don't get all that information. They have their meetings, and they discuss what's going to happen within the next few months, and we're kind of sitting there on the side. And when I say I excuse myself. It was a company of over 200 people, and I was the only one doing marketing. So, and my question is, how are you plugging into that when they consider you sometimes, okay, you're trying to do all the time, but they've got their own work to do. They're extremely busy. And where are you in this entire process? You're kind of like, I'd like for the.
Just very briefly,
I'd like to
please.
hear from my,
Two options, brief options. One is kick the door down. The other one is leave. But if you want to stay around, you want to be where you're appreciated. But if you want to stay around, you have to kick the door down and literally walk in, turn the table upside down, and make sure that you're in the center of things. You're not a sideshow. You need to be in the center ring. Forgive the pun. You need to be part of the party. You need to be in there. It's not
Israeli
about sitting on the
behavior
side.
could work really well for that in that term.
I beg your pardon?
Is typical Israeli behavior of.
That's what I had to learn.
That would
Yeah.
work really well
Yeah.
for the marketing people here because, and as Joe. Well, you have to go to see Joe's Startup Nation workshop. I wrote about it. I don't know if you've seen my post about it, but apparently corporates all around the world want to learn the Israeli tactics that led us into becoming a startup nation. And just on top of my mind, it's the informality and it's
Just look at your kids.
yeah,
My
it's
kids.
just,
I'm not Israeli, but my kids are.
it's just that behavior that it's very known what Israeli behavior is, and it works well both on the entrepreneur side and
Not
also
at the breakfast table.
Huh?
Not at the breakfast table.
Any last question before we? Yeah.
My question is about training and feedback. So you've created, let's say, a new sales tool, or a white paper, or a quarterly update, and you've disseminated it to, I don't know, there are dozens or hundreds of partners, reps, etc. How do you know that this individual salesperson really reflects what you want in the field? I mean, what is the feedback mechanism for you to do better training and improve your internal processes?
I have the mic, so I'll
Was
give a
it
quick
clear?
answer. I'll give my opinion is two things. One is training before. Make sure that when you send something out, you send it out with the type of message that you want communicated. Always focus around a couple of key points. These are the points that we want to get across. And the other one is what's been said before, is about communication. You need to be speaking, picking up the phone to the salespeople, picking up the phone to distributors or partners that you work with, pre-sales support, making sure that they understand the message and that you should expect to get feedback. You should make it better the next time you do it.
I think that besides training, one of the critical issues is to go on field. Again, most of the marketing people are not going to meet the customers. I strongly believe in meeting the customer, or at least joining meetings with sales to see how the sales toolkit that we all create is actually taking place. Because otherwise, counting on salespeople to pass their feedback back is almost zero. At least from our experience. You have to run after them to keep on asking for that information. They won't come proactively and share the information with you. And I find it, first of all, participation in training, doing lots of training. If we launch something new together with the product management, which is their main responsibility to pass on the knowledge, but to try and be in all the relevant sessions. And from time to time, I know that there are issues involved of budgeting and stuff, so marketing people cannot just go to any sales meeting. But I personally, for example, travel at least twice a month, which is a lot. But I personally see the customer. I can understand that. I I believe that R&D people should be even twice per year on the field to see the customer. They'll be much more responsive. They'll provide a much better service inside the organization. So I think it should be one of the responsibilities of the marketing and Marcom to insist to go and see how it works. So to actually listen to the salesperson presenting it, talking about the product to see what are the challenges that he's facing. It's basically the only way.
Thank you very much.